but it will get us a Winota trigger. Ooh, is that a whiff? That's a whiff. Ouch. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this casual Winota deck and find out if we can win after whiffing 3 times. Next, Commander Replay. Hey guys, next time you purchase cards, if you want to support me and my LGS, be sure to check out mothershipatx.com and use the promo code REPLAY to save 15% on your next order. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can use the TCG affiliate player link. All links are in the description below. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're playing some Winota Joiner of Forces. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. This is a quote-unquote casual take on Winota. We played his deck list one time before, but he's made a lot of changes since then, so it's going to be pretty different. I use the word casual in quotations, because it actually looks pretty strong. I don't know that you'd want to run this at a casual or mid-power table. It's probably going to fall into the high-power category of decks. However, that being the case, we've already taken our free mulligan. This hand is pretty dicey, so if Smothering Tithe survives, that would give us the mana we need to do stuff, but if it doesn't, life's gonna get pretty awkward. Do we mulligan down to 6? We don't need a Port Razor right away. Immortal Sun's kind of a late game. I'm gonna mulligan this. We're going to 6. Okay, yeah, that's a little better. We'll keep this. What don't we need? Throne of the God Pharaoh, kind of a late game play 2. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. I like it, but it doesn't set us up as well as everything else does. If you like Throne of the God Pharaoh, I didn't see it in the deck when I was looking through earlier. Let me bring the list up. Oh, nope, never mind, they've got it. So Thalia's Lancers is in the deck, and Thalia's Lancers can go find Throne of the God Pharaoh. I didn't see it the first time I looked, so yeah, that's a really good combo, and it's one that I use even in CEDH for this deck, because it's really, really good. Brings it to our turn 1. There's another land. Lands are good. Let's go ahead, play the plains, and we'll pass like that. So, Winota Joiner of Forces, a card we've looked at quite a bit on the channel. 4 mana 4/4, whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a human creature from among them onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Pretty good. It is the Boros CEDH commander. It is very strong. And if you haven't seen it yet, I did a ranking of all the Boros commanders that came out this year, and Winota is definitely in that video. So if you want to go check that video out, link is in the description below. So we'll take a quick peek at this deck. Looking at the deck, a lot of really standard choices in here, a lot of stuff that I run in my deck. I would say the only real thing separating this from a competitive version of Winota is less fast mana and less hate bears. Otherwise, a lot of the other stuff, pretty similar. A lot of cards that I would definitely run if I had more deck slots and or if I wasn't trying to stop consultation in every game that I played. And yeah, so I don't think the performance is going to be all that much different than the CEDH version of the deck, other than just having less fast mana. Opponent plays a Lotus Cobra, drops a land, gets an extra mana. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, it's a Yarok deck. Yarok's pretty good. Want to be careful with that. There's a Signet. Yep, opponent got the ramp going. Probably looking at Yarok next turn if they have a land. There's an Imperial Recruiter. This hand's kind of awkward now that we have 2 Recruiters in hand. Not necessarily how you draw it up. We're at 7 cards. Let's go ahead, play the Boros Garrison, and we'll just pick up the plains right here. Kind of a slow, awkward start. Not ideal, but when you mulligan twice, can be expected. You know, there's some chance that we could have made the Mana Vault and the Smothering Tithe thing work, but there's a lot of risk in that. If someone just has cheap removal, then we do nothing. So I didn't feel like taking that risk. Some amount of the time that's going to work out and it'll probably win you the game. Other times it won't. Thematic Compass for opponent. Let's see if Jared's running Hushbringer. He's not. Okay, yeah. So he's much lighter on the Hate Bears plan. In CEDH, Hate Bears are obviously very necessary, but I've actually started running Hushbringer. Haven't seen it a lot because I haven't been playing as much CEDH lately, but even though it hits your own deck quite a bit, I think it's good enough that its ability to stop Dockside Extortionist and Thassa's Oracle is huge. And those are certainly things you have to think about when you're playing CEDH. So I've been starting to run it, haven't had a lot of chance to test it yet, but I think it's going to be the Hour of Revelation situation where if it's bad for you, you just don't play it. Ooh, nice. Opponent's going to Spell Pierce that, although they can just pay. So it'll slow them down, but it won't stop it. It might keep them off Yarok this turn, though, if they don't have a land, and that would be good. Buy ourselves just a little bit of time. That is also a problem of Mana Crypt being free. If opponent had to, spend some amount of mana to cast that, then they may not have been able to pay for the Spell Pierce, but Mana Crypt OP. Opponent's going to cycle a Barrier Breach. That's actually pretty good for us because we have a Smothering Tithe that we would like to stick. Brings it back to our turn. Ooh, there's a Rogue Rack. Rogue Rack is actually really helpful because that is a non-human. So we can get that in for free. And that's one that I've been starting to think about in my own Winota deck. because I run Ornithopter, and Rograk is not terribly dissimilar from Ornithopter, so... anyway, I don't think it matters too much right here. We'll play the Mountain. Let's play the Recruiter of the Guard. I don't think there's a big difference between Imperial Recruiter of what targets they'll get in the deck, but I haven't looked through it extensively. So I haven't actually used the Recruiters in a while in my deck because... And it's not that they're bad, it's just that I got away from trying to do the combos that involve the Recruiters and just went for like more Hate Bears instead, because just getting Winota triggers generally gets you to the things you want to get to anyway. So I just didn't feel like they were that necessary, but that doesn't mean I won't revisit them at some point in the future. Yeah, I think I'm just going to grab Dockside Extortionist. We kind of need the mana. And we'll pass like that. Opponents start coughing down mana rocks left and right, then, Dockside will power us even more. Currently 3 artifacts on the board. But yeah, I was trying to do like the Kiki Jiki combo for a little while, but it's so like slow and telegraphed in the deck that I really didn't care for it that much. But I don't know, maybe I'll revisit it. It doesn't take that many cards to set up, and like most of them are useful anyway. But the main problem that I found was that like if you use Winota, ooh, nice, opponent's gonna Nature's Claim the Mana Crypt. That's super helpful. Also, once again, protecting our Smothering Tithe. One less piece of removal for it. So... but yeah, if a Winota trigger gets a Recruiter, you get Kiki into hand, you've already passed your combat steps, you have to wait an entire turn for everything to come back, and it's just awkward. Like, the timing just doesn't work out quite the way you want it to, so that's why I've gotten away from these, but it might be worth adding them to go find Hushbringer and go find Magus of the Moon, because most of the things that I lose to in CEDH can be stopped by Hushbringer and Magus of the Moon, so, I don't know. Maybe worth more investigation. We'll see. Deck slots do get really tight, though, especially when you're running all the Hate Bears. If a better combo comes along, I would absolutely add them back in a heartbeat. Here comes Yarok. Yep. Oh, there's a Cabal Coffers in, too. No Urborg yet, so that's good. Looks like they're out of lands, also. That does reduce the artifact count, though, for Dockside Extortionist, but I'll gladly take that to get a Mana Crypt off the board. Opponent gonna poke with the Lotus Cobra. Yep. It is kind of funny playing someone else's Winota deck. I have so much Winota knowledge because I've played it so much this year. I mean, it's the deck that I've played easily more than any other deck this year, I think. So, excluding my paper decks that I play a lot. But even then, I don't know, I've probably jammed like 30 or 40 games of Winota this year at least. I don't know that I've played any other deck that many times. So, and especially because I was trying to get myself up to snuff for CEDH, which is just, it's hard. You got to play a lot, and I don't play a ton of it. So, there's always just... A lot of it's me practicing and kind of learning all the different combos and what things you got to guard yourself against and having to make changes and so on and so forth. So a lot of trial and error when you go into CDH. Anyway, we're going to cast Winota right here. We're going to hold off on the Smothering Tithe. I'd rather start getting Winota triggers going. We'll attack Sean. It's not going to get him for any damage, but it will get us a Winota trigger. Ooh, is that a whiff? That's a whiff. Ouch. At least, oh my god, that's so many lands. That's 5 lands right there. If we have to whiff... I would rather whiff on a hand like that, because that's gross. Man, 5 lands in a row. Woo. Breath of Fury is fine. We can use the Imperial Recruiter to go grab Loyal Apprentice, which will... And I may even do that next turn, actually. That'll get us more Winota triggers. Yeah, I'm not saying I want to whiff, but you gotta whiff. I'll whiff on a hand like that. And that is part of playing this deck. In my experience... I've been between 35 and 38 creatures for most of my Winota builds, and that means that out of 10 triggers, you'll probably whiff 2 to 3 times. Ideally, you want those whiffs to be after you've already gotten a couple things in play. Whiffing on the first one like that, not the best. Not the best, keeps us moving kind of slow, but liquid metal coating for our opponent. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess, yeah, it makes sense with Rebbec. I see what's up. Opponent missing lands, though. Turn 4, they're on 2 lands. Ouch, not even a 3rd land to activate the Compass. Rough. Opponent's back up to 3 artifacts relevant for our dockside. Elixir. Cracks the Elixir. Tells me they probably don't have that much else going. Yeah, they don't. Just gonna tap out and pass. Sweet. Yarok off to a fast start, but kind of running out of steam. They haven't been playing lands, so I don't think it's lands. Maybe they have... No, they've got black mana. I don't know what they have going. Yarok coming our way. Yeah, we'll just take that. So, for all the Winota that I've played, it's been almost entirely CEDH, which means I'm not used to playing in settings that have a lot of board wipes, and that will definitely have a big impact on how effective Winota is as a commander, because if people are just wiping the board constantly, that's bad news for your deck. Creature removal is not great for Winota, and one of the reasons it's so powerful in CEDH is because there's just less creature removal, because people have to guard against combos. a lot more counter spells in their deck, more things to interact on the stack, which means less ways to interact with Winota and creatures you control. So it's interesting to play this in a non-CDH setting where people are probably going to have some pretty high removal counts, and that will reduce the effectiveness of Winota a bit. Play this Plains. I'm going to play the Imperial Recruiter. Like, part of me is thinking about wanting to hold up Boros Charm, but I know Loyal Apprentice is so good, I really just kind of want to get it going. Play Loyal Apprentice. Go to combat. Pray for no removal. There's a Loyal Apprentice trigger. And we are declaring attackers. Excellent. We'll attack Sean with the 0 once again. Attack Zombie with the 4/4. Send the Recruiter over to 5-color. The Thopter to Zombie, I guess. The Loyal Apprentice to... I guess this also to Zombie. Zombie's at 52. You might just block it, but you can only block one, so there's that. 2 Winota triggers. Whiff number 2. That is unfortunate. Please hit. Please hit. Oh, whiff number 3. Oh, man. There's the 3 whiffs I talked about. Hopefully we're all done with that. That is not how you win a game. Whew. 3 triggers, whiffed on all of them. Usually you get at least one thing by now. Even worse, that like we're just wide open to a board wipe. We can rebuild, should that happen, but it'll definitely slow us down quite a bit. Opponent gonna block 1. Yep. And maybe we'll take a look at this afterwards. We'll take a look at the number of human cards in the deck, because 3 whiffs in a row does have me a little concerned. And it could 100% be bad luck. We had a mulligan twice. Our opponents have been having trouble with the Shuffler. Zombie said he's stuck. Sean said he's stuck. So Shuffler kind of getting to some people this game. But yeah, we'll take a look at the number of non-humans after, see if there's any issues. I'm going to have to double check my list to see how many I actually run. Ooh, Mind Twist. I used to play with that card when I first started playing. It's really nasty. In 1 vs. 1, it's just like OP. That's a bad time. Opponent had... Weird, they had a land that they didn't play? Oh, maybe they're trying to create the food token. World Shaper and Go for the Throat. Why didn't they go for the throat on Winota? Faithless Looting for opponent. Hopefully this will help them out a bit. Discards a Karn. Gross. Does get his land, though. Zombie's still locked out. I don't know why Zombie didn't play anything in his... There was definitely a turn where he could have played something, and I don't know why he didn't. I'm very confused. Yarok coming back our way. Yep. Snake into the Kenrith opponent. Should look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we have 5-color Bad Stuff piloting Kenrith, the Returned King. It's going to be a pretty strong take on the deck. I did tell people to bring strong decks since we are playing Winota, and even quote-unquote casual Winota is not that casual. But that does bring it back to our turn. We take a little bit of damage. There's the Lotus Petal. Let's go ahead and play that. I think right here is just go to combat first, and we'll figure out what we're doing in the second main. Get another Thopter token, so I really want to be hitting some stuff this time. Send the 0 over to Sean. The 1 over there. Kind of just split these up. 3 Winota triggers. Finally getting something. There's a Bruce Tarl. Excellent. We'll attack Zombie with that, and we'll put Double Strike on the Winota. There we go. There's all of our stuff bunched up in one spot. Odric Master Tactician is cool for the unblockable. Gerard is cool for the board wipes. I'm going to go with Gerard because I think it's the safer bet, and with Kenrith and Yarok at the table, I'm more worried about a Toxic Deluge, which Boros Charm doesn't protect us from, so I'm going to go that way with it. We'll send this one into Sean. And a Fiend Hunter. Oh, there we go. Excellent. We'll send that one into Zombie. Grab this Yarok with the Fiend Hunter. We get in some damage, but the big hit's still coming away. Opponent's still at 28, 36, 36, so not crazy damage yet, but it'll come. It'll come. I'm going to go for the... Maybe we save the Solemn. Yeah, we'll save the Solemn and go for the Smothering Tithe. Solemn gives us a non-human if the board gets wiped and we can't stop it. Pass like that. Smothering Tithe. Trigger. Looks like opponent's paying. Coalition Relic. Counter on it. Oh, big thing too. Solemn Simulacrum would shuffle our library, and we've gotten through a bunch of triggers that like we want on the bottom. I think we've only passed 2 creatures that we really want to look at again, so in 6 triggers, so we've passed, what, 30-something cards, I think? 36 cards, probably. There's a Solemn for opponent, yeah. Blocker and some ramp. Ooh, opponent didn't go to the command zone with the Fiend Hunter, so hoping someone's going to blow the board up. And it kind of makes sense. You know, the way that this deck works is someone's going to have to blow the board up successfully. Otherwise, your options are wipe the board against Winota or win faster. No one really looks like they're set up to win faster, so pretty much means they're going to have to wipe the board. Treasure for opponent pays, taps out and passes. This can potentially be a very big turn. There's a Thopter Engineer. Artifact creatures you control have haste. Sounds good to me. Ooh, maybe I need to run that one. I don't run that one currently. Might want to think about that. Could play the Solemn, but I'd rather hold up the mana. Zombie Scoops because he's stuck. He also got hit with a Mind Twist, so I get it. This is probably going to be the big turn also. Opponents are tapped out. Can't really react. Thopter token. Send everything. Bruce Tarl. On Winota. Whiff. There's a Jorkadine. That'll finish this up. Angrith's Marauders. Yep, that'll also make it much quicker. Whiff again. Yeah, we might need to look at the number of humans in the deck because I think we're whiffing a little bit more than I would prefer. There's a Gold Knight thingy. Opponent blocks with a Solemn. 5 color goes down. Opponent draws with a Solemn. Smothering Tithe. We're just going to pass like that. We don't really need to commit anything else right now. The onus is on them to destroy our stuff. They basically need like Final Judgment or Descend Upon the Sinful. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Haven't played it in a long time. Exile. They need Exile. Stonecoil Serpent. Not going to do it. There's a Soul Ring for us. Let's drop that in. Go to combat. Triggers the Gold Knight with the Thopter. Send the team. Bruce Tarl on, I guess, on that guy. Jorkadine. Bunch of Winota triggers. Oh, there's a Geist Honor Monk. Gold Knight. Geist Honored. Evangel. Oh, my. That triggers Gold Knight Castigator a lot of times. Maybe that's something I need to think about. That is something worth considering. Whiff. Yeah, we'll go Aura Touched. Just in case this isn't enough. This is definitely going to be enough. Breath of Fury. Pia and Kieran. Bastion Protector. That's a good card, actually. I like that. This is going to be some damage. Oh, opponent's not going to take all the damage because they're going to die to the Double Strike one before all the silliness happens. They go down to 160. Nice. Oh, opponent had an Ugin in hand. Not enough time to cast it, though. All right, so our opponents got stuck in this game. So we didn't really get like a great look of what's going to happen when there's interaction at the table because the little bit of interaction there was mostly went towards the Yarok, which, you know, is totally deserved. It's a Yarok deck, so there's that. But yeah, I think we're probably going to take this out for another spin, and we'll see what happens. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 3 new Patreon supporters in Sparks, Antediluvian, and Brandon Drennan. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.